Hi there folks, this is CNB on the NDTV network. I am Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar. Thanks for joining us. As always, we bring you plenty on this episode. Let's begin by talking about a worldwide bestseller. This is the Toyota Camry. Now, of course, it's got multiple avatars the world over, but in the United States, which is its #1 market, it is extremely popular in its hybrid avatar. Now, the hybrid version has come to the Indian market as well, but unlike the US, where it ends up being an absolute commuter, a mass volumes-oriented car, in India, Toyota is looking to make it somewhat of a flagship.
A luxury sedan with an eco-conscious heart. That's the Toyota Camry Hybrid. Quite a popular car in markets like the US, the Camry has been leading in the global mid-size sedan segment for a while, but of course minus the luxury add-ons that we enjoy in the Indian market, since here it is treated as a full-size luxury sedan.
By bringing in the Camry Hybrid to India and assembling it locally, Toyota is going to be the country's first hybrid car manufacturer. What this essentially means, besides flexible pricing of the car, is also that it's sending out a very strong statement to the government to kind of bring in some kind of fiscal incentives to promote the use of hybrid cars in India. Now, this Camry Hybrid that's coming to India will have about 35 plus enhancements to give owners a very different feel and experience compared to the current Camry which is available in the Indian market.
The hybrid uses the same 2.5-litre engine as the petrol Camry, generating 158 bhp and 213 Nm of torque. But with the addition of the electric motor, the hybrid delivers a combined output of 202 bhp. The hybrid also gets the electronically controlled continuously variable transmission or ECVT. The petrol Camry uses the regular automatic gearbox.
Hybrid synergy drive makes the transition between the electric motor and the petrol engine very, very smooth, and you really can't make out any power shifts taking place at that point of time. Also, the regenerative braking does take some time to get used to, and makes a little noise when you make that braking, but it's not so bad really. Just take some time to get used to it.
Toyota calls the Camry Hybrid a performance hybrid, which basically means it's not a boring car to drive. In the eco-driving mode, the car is quick and lets you cruise at high speeds without a hitch. But there is reason to smile even in the EV mode, with only the electric motor running the car for long in traffic conditions. The multi-information display on the center even shows the hybrid synergy drive system in motion with the real-time usage levels of the electric motor and the petrol engine. Handling on the large sedan is similar to its petrol twin. It has good ride height with large 17-inch tires, and yet the ground clearance of 160 mm may struggle on poor roads. The steering does feel a little less sporty, but that's similar in the petrol variant too. Toyota claims an ARAI certified fuel efficiency of 19 km per litre on the Camry Hybrid, much higher than the 12 km per litre on the petrol variant. So now that you know how different it feels, let's run you through a closer look on the aesthetics. You can't miss the hybrid exclusive chrome grille with the blue Toyota logo and the new bumper, the 17-inch wheels along with the 10-spoke alloy wheels, and on the rear you get fog lamps along with the LED brake lights. The cabin of the hybrid is possibly even more luxurious than the regular Camrys. The dash is well laid out with high-quality plastics, easy to operate controls, and a multi-information display in the center. As we showed you, there is a combi meter and a hybrid system indicator on the instrument panel packed with useful driving info. The hybrid also comes with a front seat ventilation system to keep cool. But wait, the better half of the car is clearly in the spacious rear cabin.
Now, the rear passenger of the Camry Hybrid is most likely going to be the owner himself, and Toyota has ensured that the overall experience of the rear cabin is really comfortable. Starting off with the 3-zone air conditioning, which ensures that the rear cabin is really comfortable in terms of the cooling that it gets. Also, what makes a difference is in terms of the electrically reclinable seats, which makes a difference, especially on those long distance drives. The remote on that is available on the armrest, making it extremely comfortable. Also, the overall headroom and the legroom is as roomy. As you can see, this seat has been pushed all the way back, and there's still more than enough space here available for the leg to easily rest here. Also, if you're out on a sunny day, the option that Toyota gives you is this powering up of the rear sunshade on the rear windshield and manually on the rear window.
The rear left side passenger also gets to adjust the front passenger seat with buttons for the slide and recline functions fitted within arm's reach, and a collapsible headrest on that seat for a better view of the road ahead. So, a green car with a high dose of luxury thrown in, the Camry Hybrid will be launched in only one fully loaded variant by the end of this month. The price is expected to be around 30 lakh rupees ex-showroom.
So it seems that the demand is still there. It's just a lot of reluctance from buyers. New launches will help that situation. We got 2 more announcements this week. We'll have those details for you in Sector Snapshot. One's from Maruti, the other one's that Nissan Terrano that many of you have been asking about. Let's take a look at those details as we slip into a short commercial break. Welcome back to CNB. Now you're wondering why I'm driving around in this X1. I'll tell you in a second. First, let me take that question from our second screen on the NDTV app. Dhruv Godara has written in asking about which is a better buy, the Volkswagen Jetta, the new Octavia from Skoda that's coming in very soon, or in fact the Hyundai Elantra. Well, you know what, Dhruv, the Elantra has been the value for money model. It's something that a lot of Hyundai buyers appreciate about the brand. It's easy to maintain. It has great options, lots of variants, and came very close to being our car of the year, a very strong contender for our car of the year as well. So I do give that a pretty strong vote. But in terms of technology, if that's the kind of focus you want a real emphasis on performance, well, the all-new MQB platform from Volkswagen, which comes in for the first time to India on this new Octavia, well, that's the one to beat. And so given its novelty, given the fact that it comes in with a lot of technology packed in and good performance as well, I'm going to vote on the Octavia with the little rider that we don't know the prices yet. So wait for those prices and then make up your mind. Now, the point about the X1. Well, remember, it's been the first entry product really from the luxury market point of view to drive in. Created a lot of excitement when it was first launched, and last year we got its only real rival, the Audi Q3. Lots has happened since then. There's lots of other cars that are entry luxury now from Volvo and Mercedes-Benz, but the X1 and Q3 rivalry is still seen as perhaps the most crucial. The big difference between the two cars was the fact that the X1 was two-wheel drive, the Q3 a lot more high-end, and of course offering Quattro. Now that's changed. The X1 has become a little bit more high-end in its positioning ever since its facelift earlier this year, and the Q3 finally now, as you saw, has got an entry offering in its portfolio as well. Now, the Audi India head, Michael Perschke, is on his way out of India. He has finished his tenure. He's heading to a new assignment in Europe. We caught up with him on the program for the last time. And of course, while we wish him all the very best, it's also been his last launch here in India, the Q3. So a few thoughts on the Q3 and of course, like I said, his thoughts on leaving this market as well. Audi is getting aggressive as well with the Q3S. Joining us to speak more about this car and also what's happening with the market right now is Audi's Michael Perschke. Good to see you.
Sid, pleasure.
Always is. New car. It's always fun to see that coming from any of you, but in particular right now, this finally sort of delivers the promise you made at the time of the launch, where you said you will get a little more aggressive, you will have other variants coming in later on.
Yeah, we will start assembly very soon, or basically in process of finalizing first couple of cars. This is actually already one of the first made in India, Q3 S edition, 140 horsepower, high rev manual transmission, and it comes as a stunning price, 24.99 in Delhi. And as I said, I believe with that we are definitely even competing with a luxury hatch.
This segment that we've seen a lot of action in lots of new launches, 20 to 25 lakh rupees, it seems hot. How crucial was it for you to get the price right? Not in terms of the competition like the hatches that you just mentioned, but also what comes from Audi like the A3 in the future.
It was very important. You wanted to access the target audience, you want to be on the shopping list, you want to mentally be relevant to them so that they say, okay, is an Audi part of my consideration? And there's a clear mental block for many people to go beyond that 25 lakhs, beyond that 30,000 EMI per month, and we wanted to get it right first time. Many products are great in India, but if you get the price wrong, India is not a price-sensitive market, but a very value-conscious market. So I think with a Q3 at a 25 lakh price tag, I think people get a lot of value for money. They get the Q-Live, they get the 4 rings, they get all the history, all the pedigree, and that at a price where even a salaried customer who today makes 30, 40, 50 lakhs income a year can considering an EMI, and I think that's where the Q3S is spot on.
The part that also comes under consideration for these buyers is, the costs that come after you've bought the car. How are you addressing that? Because I know some of your competition is trying to really position, these packages, which are the after-sales or the maintenance costs.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely an important approach. The peace of mind once you buy the car, but also later on you don't have surprises. Now, there's also a bit of education, but because any car has a certain level of maintenance cost, but if you are able to pitch in the maintenance package, the extended warranty, the insurance, and make it a sweet offer that the customer say, okay, I'm taken care of, it's a sweet deal in sense of peace of mind, then definitely makes a lot of impact, and I think that's where you build the brand long term.
2013, it's been a special year for you so far. I know that you had laid a target in front of your whole team and said that, look, we've got to go after number one. You've got the number one spot in the Indian market. What's that been like? What's that journey been like? I'm asking more from your point of view than just the company.
I think from a personal point of view, of course, it means you constantly have something in your mind. I mean, we had 3 sports stars here today. The other day I had an interview with Bai Chung with our TV channel, and we said, what is similar between the corporate world and the sports world when you are on top of something? I think he has his football club, he was the captain of the team. I think this number one is going for a gold medal, being on the top of a podium, seeing at the end of the day the reward for all the sweat you have put in. I think that was a similar race we had, and I had, my team had, and the dynamics we have put in place. I know when we've been back in Gurgaon, when we launched the RS5 and the A7, you said 15, is that not a little bit conservative? I said, look, The Audi approach is always under promise, over deliver. Let's target 15, put everything in place. If competition does mistakes or things happen in between, you go faster, you go slower. We saw that window of opportunity, especially last year with the arrival of the Q3. We maintained our speed. Competition had to break down for whatever reason, so we saw that opportunity. But it's not that we overtook 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. In the last 12 months, we have been number one for 9 months in totality. And I think you've been guests to over 24 hours of Le Mans. You know how important it is that you maintain the pace, not for 2 hours, for 4 hours, for 6 hours. It's not a Grand Prix, it's not a 1.5 hours race, it's a 24 hours race. And out of 12 months, 9 is good. It's not good enough, but it's good. So I'm happy that I delivered my promise with the team. Of course, there will be new challenges, maintain the number one. I think that is then the next step for the brand.
And it's been in a tough year as well for the entire industry. The reason I ask you that question from your point of view is because we know that you're also ending your tenure here as the head of Audi India. And of course, we are sad to see you go, but we wish you all the very best. And I'm sure you're going to continue to, be just as aggressive wherever you go.
Munich, Frankfurt, or wherever, and we chat.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Sid.
Thank you. Always fun to test out those vehicles. Now it is time for me to say goodbye to all of you, but remember there's plenty of action that's still expected in our market. All those new bikes and variants coming from Hero, remember we told you about. Besides that, you've got the Grand i10 coming from Hyundai, the BMW 1 Series, the new Skoda Octavia as well. We'll be tracking all of that for you right here on this program. On that note, it is goodbye. Please wear your seatbelts. Please wear your helmets if you're on a two-wheeler. I'll see you next week.